What's going on? It's Chris the Botch Pit. We're here with the second part of, or I should say the first full part of the Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle. We did a prologue before to kind of set the stage of where people were going to be and how to have them all meet up.
Now we're going to die.
Now we're going to die! Fun for all!
Again!
Again.
Got my next character ready.
We're vampires.
So,
Okay.
we set the stage. Now the curtain draws open. It's not what you'd expect a gathering of affluent and powerful kindred to be. It is not a 50-story building. It's not a old school chapel with gargoyles littering the side corners above the rooftops as the moon comes down.
I don't want to play anymore now.
It's in fact, it's almost slightly disappointing if one were to look at it from the outside. They pull up to an industrial park, and everything seems still, as if nothing is really going on inside. One might even confuse the place for being closed down, until they pull into the underground garage, which is littered with very expensive cars that have no business being in such a place this time of evening. Dozens of motorcycles, Audis, BMWs, all sorts of things. There are people standing in tattered rags outside the doors, just chattering with one another. Hideous things. Grotesque-looking things. But quite possibly, if one were to be in the know, the ones to make the most friends with. So, as we enter in at this stage, Alexander Stein, Brad's character, pulls up with his sire, Jackson Burton, in a modest Hyundai. They ride with a low profile when they go out for such things, as is best to do. The chauffeur gets out of the car, even though they do still have someone driving the car. He steps over to, first, Alexander's side, and he pulls open your car door, and he waves you outwards.
All right, I get out.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure my suit is nice and straight and clean. Ready up my tie.
He stands to the side. What are you doing from there?
And I will go and I will open the door for my sire.
Good boy. The door pops open. He steps out, adjusting his tie. He casts you a slight smile. He's like, excellent. He goes, now remember, you serve the prince, you serve the seneschal and the primogen, and then you serve me. He goes, your actions will reflect very strongly about how they see you. First impressions mean quite a lot to anybody, especially when the people that you're introducing yourself to have been alive for centuries.
Of course.
But do not forget your place. You are royalty. Understand?
Yes.
Let us go. He begins walking towards the entrance. You see it's kind of like a little lobby with an elevator into it.
I'll follow suit.
Okay. He hits as he steps in, he hits the thing for the top floor, the button for the top floor. Looking within the stainless steel, making sure that he looks presentable. He looks you up and down and he goes, I see you wore the Venetian cut. It was a good decision for the evening.
Had to show my best.
All right. With that, the elevator doors close and they ride up. The best part about the bike that you had now, unlike your prior one, is, yeah, it doesn't look as badass riding your bike without riding a bike with a windshield, but you get a lot less bugs in your teeth. And considering the gathering you're heading towards, you really don't want to be flashing your pearly whites with mosquitoes jammed in between your gums. You pull up as quietly as you possibly can, riding down low to the garage. You, Driz, and Sebastian, the rest of the crew, they're mostly humans. Driz is the VP.
No, I know. I didn't. Never mind. I thought Sebastian wasn't going.
Oh, no, he's definitely going. He's the one that, remember, if you were paid,
that's right.
he needs to present you.
Yeah.
Right. So you pull up, you all, you hop off your bikes, toss your helmets there. You do wear your helmets because you're not stupid. You understand the laws, and the Masquerade is what it is. As he kind of walks by those men in rags, those grotesque things that, Alexander and Jackson both step by without even saying hello. Sebastian punches one of them in the arm, and he kind of, at first the thing goes, He kind of hisses at him. He's like, Sebastian, you asshole. How have you been? And he kind of comes over and gives him an awkward, gross hug. Sebastian's like, dude, you fucking smell rank, but I'm doing all right. He claps him on the shoulder. They look you up and down. They're like, and who's this? He goes, hey, introduce yourself.
I'm Bart.
Bart? The guy in rags extends one gnarled, yellowed, mucus-stained hand to you.
I shake his hand.
Yeah. Shake your hand. Shake his hand. He's like, excellent. Excellent. He's not stuck up like the Blue Bloods. And this Sebastian's like, hey, easy. Yeah. We know about the bullshit with the Blue Bloods, but they got a purpose too, all right? He's like, of course, we serve the Camarilla. Like, yeah, of course we do. Don't be a jerk. And he kind of claps him on the shoulder again, and he begins walking towards the elevators. Driz is following suit, but he's keeping pretty quiet. He kind of gives an up nod to the... Knowing what you know there of the Nosferatu clan, you can tell pretty quickly. If the appearance didn't give it away, the smell would follow up and give the period at the end of the sentence. So you guys all head towards the elevator. Sebastian looks over and goes, hey, you got a mosquito in your teeth.
I fish around for it.
Yeah, you feel it.
Yeah, I feel it?
Yeah.
Cool. I spit it out.
He's like, gross. He's like, how do I look? He opens his mouth, exposing his teeth, like, I got anything? He looks pretty alright. They look yellowed and, like, gross, but alright.
You're good.
Alright. Mouthwash. He kind of reaches up and pinches at his mustache and kind of...
Oh,
yeah, he's got a
man.
mustache, dude. He's totally got a mustache.
I mean...
Just a mustache, too. No lower facial hair, just a gnarly mustache.
I guess
Hulk Hogan style. He's got a Hulk Hogan mustache.
Man, I can deal with the windshield on the bike. Barely. But that... Come on.
Are you saying that to him?
No.
But I thought he was like, fuck you, I've had this mustache for like 200 years. That shave it off shit comes back. All right.
Good then.
Look, all right. All right. So with the ding, elevator door shut. All right. So as the elevator doors slide open beside you, there's another set of elevators across from the hall. Mm-hmm. Those also pop open. You see Sebastian goes, well, suck my nuts. He's like, if it isn't fucking Jackson Burton. And Jackson, who typically has a very dry demeanor, if you will, allows himself just for a moment to crack a slight smile. He's like...
Surprising.
He's like, Mr. Wallace? Sebastian's like, fuck that Mr. Wallace shit! And he kind of storms over there and grabs him in a really awkward hug. And at first Sebastian, Jackson has his arms kind of open, but not fully touching him. Mm-hmm. And then he reaches over and starts patting his head. He's like, yes. He's like, you know I'm not your fucking dog, right? He's like, this is about as affectionate as I get. He's like, I know it, shit! And he kind of pushes him. He literally just pushes him. Sebastian pushes Jackson off him. Jackson stumbles a little bit, and he's still kind of like chuckling. He's like, I haven't seen you since... Shit, man. What? It's been like 100 years. He's like, yes, I know it's been some time. He's like, but, with communication being what it is these days, it's pretty difficult to maintain fresh contact. Sebastian's like, fuck, don't I know it. But yeah, man, it's great. He goes, hey, this is my progeny right here. He goes, this is Bart. Jackson's like, oh, hello, Bart. And you see that he couldn't be, from an appearance standpoint at least, any more different than Sebastian. He's wearing a light blue suit with a teal tie, a white shirt, black polished shoes, and a rose hanging out of his pocket. You're just looking over at this, and you just see these grizzled biker dudes talking to your sire like I don't know, neighbors at a barbecue. You can't quite wrap your head around this.
It's quite amusing to see him crack a smile and show affection.
Yeah. So he goes, yeah. He goes, this is mine. He's right here. He points over to you. With that, the man in the suit comes over, puts his one arm behind his back, does a slight tilt to the head, and extends a hand. He goes, Jackson,
I go and shake his hand.
He's like, pleasure to meet you. Your sire's a good man.
I'll walk up to Sebastian. I'll do the same. Alexander?
Roll your wits plus politics.
I'm actually curious to see what happens if he botches this.
Don't forget you have a hunger die.
Oh, I do?
Yep.
Is that every time you roll?
No, right now, well,
Hunger 1?
unless you drain a human down at the beginning of the night, you have one hunger die.
Okay.
And it increases.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, dude, don't apologize. Trust me, I forgot to tell you in the first place, too.
1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, so that's a lot.
Oh, a whole bunch of successes? Alright, you go... Alright, yeah, you did very well. You did a huge... Okay, yeah, you killed it. You go to step forward, and in your mind, you hear... There's a flashback in your mind that goes... When meeting other kindred, when your sire is presenting, you wait until you are spoken to present yourself to step forward. And you catch yourself. And you kind of lean back. So, Jackson's like, this here is my progeny. Please meet Alexander Stein. And he kind of waves you forward.
Alright, I'll walk to... Was he waving me to him or Sebastian?
No, he's waving you to Sebastian.
Okay, and I'll approach Sebastian. Alexander.
He goes, Sebastian! And he grabs your hand. Give me a strength roll, just real quick. Hunger die.
Right? That's right. Messy!
So funny.
Damn.
I don't know. He's got a fucking strong handshake. It doesn't hurt, but it's on the edge of being obnoxious.
Ooh.
He's like, great to meet you, kid. Your sire's pretty badass, even though if he's wearing a fucking suit these days.
Pleasure's mine.
And Jackson's like, he goes, well, not these days. I mean, bitch always wears a suit. It's not very couth. And you can't help but notice that Jackson's just like, he notices that people are kind of looking.
Yeah, just...
You see 3 people standing to the side, all wearing garish fucking clothes. Just kind of... Give me a wits plus politics roll again.
That's... 4?
Oh, definitely more than enough. All right, you notice the people talking to each other, and you realize very quickly they are what are commonly known in the court as harpies. They are the gossipers, the talkers, the ones that work spreading word among the kindred about what's going on and forming opinions very quickly. You will notice that... Let me see here. No, he would know better. Favoritism. Oh, yeah. Totally fine.
I hate the fact that those actually say 10.
I
actually really
So
hate
for the
that.
people listening, all of the troop here, we have all ordered the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition dice. Not that I'm plugging for them, but I am. And
Sponsor us.
I am.
Every time.
I am, remember?
That's right. With my discount.
No, it does not work that way.
More dice, please.
And you have different choices of how you can play with the dice. You can either use regular 10-sided dice or the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition trademarked dice, which are sexy as hell. But right now we're using the regular ones. And I bought this Chessex set that is meant to look like the original Vampire the Masquerade, I think, 2nd edition dice set. It's got an Ankh for the 1, and actual, instead of 0 for 10s, it's a 1-0. And it's just... I don't know, it's messing with us. It's a good thing we're not drinking.
It irks me.
It's irksome in general.
In general.
All right.
Dyslexia, you're back.
Just so everybody's aware, Brad just got up and got water willy-nilly in the middle of the session. He just walked away to the... And now he's touching me. Stranger danger! Territorial bubble. Sit down.
I'm not a stranger. It's okay.
Oh, you're strange. Stop
I didn't
it.
say I'm a stranger.
I ain't seen my wife in 2 weeks. You don't touch me.
It will give him needs.
More like wants. All right. So, you notice that Jackson kind of straightens his head and tilts his head looking over to the 3, mumbling and whispering. Let's see if our buddy...
We gained 1.
Yeah, you got successes. All right.
Trace.
So... the two older kindred look at each other and they're like... Jackson's like, oh, well, you know how it is. And Sebastian's like, yeah, I know the fucking game. Let's go. And he literally just kind of slaps Jackson on the shoulder and walks over to the Harpies. Let me give a politics roll here because this may not go well for that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Is that 3 1s?
Yeah.
And 2 2s. Yikes.
So that's a crit fail, ain't it?
Oh, it is.
Who's this?
Is this Sebastian?
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's not us.
Yeah. So, yeah, the spiking of the volume. We've already got our first bestial failure. And we just started the session. Good times. All right. So, as they're walking over,
Trevor did bad.
Jackson looks over at Sebastian, who starts twitching a little bit. And Jackson's like, hello, thank you for organizing this Elysium. I'd like to introduce you. And Sebastian just butts in and shoves one of them as hard as he can. Be like, sup, bitches? It's a and his ears get pointy as he slaps one of them in the face and knocks him to the ground. He's like, why are you over here talking shit about us, man? And Jackson just goes, just goes,
Shoot you a look, just... Oh my.
I turn to Driz and just go, he told me to keep it together.
So, literally, this just...
I'm just gonna just kind of go over.
Immediately just started going south. And he's like, I just wanted to come over here and introduce myself, but I can't stand the look of your fucking face. And he starts like snapping. And everything comes to a standstill. You'll notice that
Is he generally like
Jackson literally puts an arm out, and he takes you, and he takes both of you, puts his arms out, and he kind of pushes both of you behind him. He's just kind of like, distance yourself. He's like, he goes, especially you. He goes, step to the side. Driz is like, hey, come here. Let me see here.
Is anything going with that blood thing?
Huh?
Is his blood tie?
All right, good. All right, so Driz is like, hey, let's go back some bitches. And he literally just grabs your arm. He grabs, he takes Bartleby's arm and just pulls him away to the side before he could be noticed being lumped in with all this stuff. Jackson goes, aha, well, he's like, and Sebastian's like, so what's up? So what's up? So, literally just like getting really worked up. And, hold on, let's see here.
Just going, hold me back, hold me back. No one's there.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. So Jackson walks over to Sebastian, grabs him by the shoulders, and he goes, hey, you need to calm down. Let's see here. Oh, cool. All right. And Sebastian just kind of twitches, and he goes, oh, man, you're right. Oh, shit. He's just like, yo, ha, yep. And he just kind of, he reaches up and scratches the back of his ear like a dog, like just scratching the back of his ear.
Funny joke.
So, what?
That's what you need.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
No. He didn't, So, Jackson helps up the harpy, and he goes, I am so sorry. It's been a long, long day. And Sebastian's like, yeah, someone tried to set me on fire today, and I'm just really worked up about it. It's been a whole thing. And with that, you hear, is there a problem in the court? So both of you give me, you're not right there beside them, but give me a wits plus politics. And don't forget your hunger die, both of you.
Two.
Okay.
I'm not used to the sheets.
I know. Oh, yeah, we're good. All right, now you're fine. Okay, so with that, everybody stands up and just kind of holds a position, and you know you're supposed to do the same. So you kind of follow suit with everybody. And the crowd kind of opens up as two people start walking down through the opening thing towards Sebastian. And you realize that it is... Obviously, with the way that everybody's separating open, like Noah from the from the sea, it's the prince. He looks about 19 to 20. He's got someone walking beside him who looks 50 to 60. The prince has like blonde hair, blue eyes, 19 years old looking guy, wearing a very fine suit, but sneakers instead of shoes. And the other man is dressed very much so, like he's wearing like a tuxedo, white gloves. He has gray hair. And he walks with a very rarefied, dignified air. And with that, Jackson just stands up at attention and quiet with his arms across behind his head. Behind his back. And Sebastian's still standing there literally looking like a punished puppy. Like, he just looks like, ugh. So, the prince walks over. Looks at the harpy with the got the dust on his clothes a bit, and he goes, "Julian, are we okay?" He's like, "I believe we are fine, sir." He goes, "Right," and he turns over and looks at Sebastian. He's like, "Sebastian." And Sebastian's like, "Yes, Your Highness." He goes, "I believe you're here tonight to pledge fealty and introduce me to your child, or are you not?" He goes, yeah. He goes, "Where is your child?" And he just goes, looks around, he goes, he kind of looks you over with Driz, and Driz is like, "All right, give me a wits plus politics roll again."
I know when the hunger die.
I told you this is going to be a political game. Yeah, you're good. All right, you walk over slowly with your hands behind your back as well, chest outwards, head held politely. And as you approach, you kind of tip your head to him with your head lowered. He goes, "You may raise." Telling you may raise your... He goes, "What is your name?"
Bartleby.
Bartleby. "This is your sire." "Can you tell me how many things your sire just did incorrectly?" "Give me 2 things."
Well, you don't come into someone's house and start trouble.
Right. How, in our kind, I know you are young, how does our kind control ourselves and keep ourselves from getting into trouble like this?
Upholding the Masquerade.
No. I didn't ask you what
Oh.
was broken out of the 6 tenets.
Wow.
I'm asking how you could prevent from doing such stupid things. Why did your sire just act like a buffoon in front of an entire rank of kindred? What mistake did he make?
Not feed.
Very good. Very good. Sebastian, isn't he less than a year sired? Sebastian's like, "Yes, Your Highness." Like, and he knows the rules better than you. Shouldn't you feel, I don't know, shamed? And with that, Sebastian literally like winces as if the words literally hurt him. Just so you understand from a mechanical standpoint, this is important you guys understand this, because this is another difference now with 5th edition. See your willpower?
Yeah.
Your willpower can literally take damage in social situations.
Oh, can it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So say you get into an argument, You both roll like wits in politics or wits in science or intelligence science, stuff like that. And if you fail against the other person, you lose it as if it's like health.
That sounds like a pretty important mechanic, Chris.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Thanks for telling us mid-game.
We haven't started doing any of the political stuff.
I was here for it.
Yeah.
I was about to say you all have books, you could have read it. You did have access to the PDF.
Doesn't mean I have time.
You do.
You were reading.
Oh, I know.
You were reading that off when I was making my character.
Right. So,
I have the ad, Brad.
Yes, the addition is strong in you.
Yeah, there you go. That's my excuse. Don't get mad. It was the ad. I know I'm doing something right when I see fire roll
if this
my
were
eyes
if this
and
were
sighs.
if this were Chronicles of Darkness, I can give you a beat. But here, all I can do is say, "Good job." That's it.
That was experience.
At the end of the session.
Oh, I want to curse at the top of my lungs right now, but I'm not gonna.
All right. So he goes, "Well, I can tell you that normally we have pomp and festivities during the introduction, but as far as you're concerned, I consider this a fairly successful introduction. It's a pleasure to welcome you to among the Camarilla of this city, Bartleby. Do you know the rules of the Camarilla?"
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will not do you the disservice of asking you 1 through 6 in front of the crowd, because that is, for lack of a better word, douchey. With that, the person beside him, the seneschal, just goes, the older gentleman, he goes, "But I see that you have the wisdom to distance yourself from your sire when they are acting foolish. You understand what your sire did incorrectly, so you understand how not to make the same mistakes. So, you will be allowed to exist within the city. You will be allowed to hunt within the appropriate domains upon introducing yourself to the people that run said domains to make sure that you have clearance, to make sure there's enough cattle for you to feed upon. Sorry, kine. Do you understand the rules that we're setting forward?"
Yes, sir.
Now, just so you understand, you are still under the guidance and tutelage of your sire. You are not to be free among the city as of yet. He is still to watch over you and take guardianship of you, if you will. Someone to hold accountable for when you make a mistake, so that you are not alone on the funeral pyre of final death should you make a transgression that is unacceptable. But this is a great first step for you, and if it makes you feel any better, nobody moves on any faster steps. This is how everybody begins. Welcome to the city."
Thank you, Your Highness.
And he goes, "And Sebastian?" And Sebastian's like, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Get a hold of yourself. You're an embarrassment." And Sebastian's like, "Yes, sir." He leans in and he's like, "If we didn't have history, things would not be as pleasant as they are right now. Learn." And Sebastian's just like, "Yes, sir." And he just, like, no sarcasm, no nothing. Like, the whole thing the whole Elysium came to a standstill. Because dumbass didn't feed too much before he went in. Now, just so we're aware of the risks here, I just got a triple botch on 2 hunger die.
Uh-huh.
Just so you guys are aware of what the stakes are if you don't feed. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Players be warned. There is not... In Chronicles of Darkness, I have a bit of a safety net lately for the players.
A bit?
A lot of safety net.
Well, a lot.
What do you mean, wow?
Saved my ass
Oh, yeah, I know.
3 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And then Nick.
Uh-huh.
Well, I know people weren't prepared to lose their characters. This is going to be a bit of a more mature campaign. I use the term loosely.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna die so fast.
Hey, you're doing better than your sire, so... By the way, his ears are still pointy and they're not going away for the next couple days.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he got a bestial thing. That's his flaw. That's the bane of the gangrel. You get a bestial feature. All right. So he goes, well, with that said, I believe we had another introduction this evening. And he looks over at Jackson. He goes, Mr. Burton. And he's like, Your Highness. He goes, you see, Sebastian, that is how this is supposed to go. And Sebastian just stands there quietly, cowed. He goes, so tell me, child, what is your name?
I'll bow my head.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Stein, Your Highness.
All right. Of what clan?
Ventru.
Ventru. Do me a favor real quick, Alexander, Mr. Stein. What are the 6 tenets of the Camarilla? He puts you right on the spot.
Yeah.
Give me a wits plus composure roll.
Yeah.
Thanks for fucking up.
Huh?
I said thanks for rolling so shitty.
3.
All right, good. Yeah, you're totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Masquerade, the Domain, the Progeny, Accounting, Hospitality, and Destruction.
Explain me destruction.
We are forbidden from destroying another. Forbidden from destroying another of our kind.
Okay, what happens should you perform so?
Huh? A blood hunt, Your Highness.
Yes. Now, in case you're not aware, with the blood hunt, all are invited to participate. It does not matter if you're Camarilla, Anarch, Independent, or, Lord forbid, even the Sabbat. He looks around at the crowd and they all just start laughing and chuckling. And then he looks back at you. He goes, all are invited to the blood hunt. So, do we know what not to do? Tell me, what mistakes has your sire made since he has gotten here? Give me a wits plus politics. Ooh, was that a critical?
Two zeros?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
4 successes. That's a critical. 2 zeros are counted as 4 successes.
Okay.
You are aware, because you've been paying attention and watching, that your sire has not made any mistakes.
He has made none, Your Highness.
That is correct. And I would expect the same from his child. You are welcome in the city. You may hunt freely within your sire's domain, as he already has a nice parcel of land. He is of the primogen of your clan. Are you aware of that?
Am I?
Yes. You're aware that he is the voice of the Ventru in the city.
Yes, Your Highness.
Right. Okay, then. So, you are a man, whether or not you are prepared for it, of status in this city. And as so, in the times we are living in, it is not a safe place to be. And I wish to perform an experiment upon you. He kind of smiles a little bit. He was like, your sire is primogen. And perhaps someday, if he sees you so fit, I may be in need of another. Maybe your sire will become prince, or seneschal, or who knows what. But regardless, you being his child and a person of status, I'm going to put you in charge of a certain chunk of Boston. And with this, Jackson kind of like tilts his head, curious. He goes, I will not be taking the land away from anybody else. He's like, but I will allow you to hunt freely and conduct business there. I will be giving you a specific task that I wish for you to perform in the city.
Yes, Your Highness.
Yes. And for that, you are going to need protection. And he kind of smiles a little bit. He goes, Bartleby, please step forward.
Step forward.
Okay. He goes, here forward, you are enforcer and assistant. And should you need be, muscle, voice, and ears. for Mr. Stein. Is that acceptable to all of you?
Yes, Your Highness.
Yes, sir.
All right. Give me a... What's the matter?
No, I thought I heard someone whistle.
I did hear the whistling.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that my camera?
Was that you?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Damn
This
it.
is creepy. I just heard random whistling. Like, okay. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
exactly. Okay. It's the harpies. He smiles and he goes, all right. So, we shall meet up again tomorrow evening. Without your sires. You may meet me here. And he hands both of you a card. He goes, and we will discuss how things are to move forward. Are there any questions? Give me a wits plus politics roll, both of you. Look at the dice rolling thing. that's,
I know, right?
that's cool.
Critical success.
Yeah, you both got good success. You both understand that you are not supposed to ask questions in front of a crowd. Especially when he said he's already going to meet with you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He's like, so are there any questions?
No, sir.
No, Your Highness.
Excellent. Enjoy the party. With that, he kind of holds his hands aloft and everybody kind of claps and cheers. A lot of people walk over to you, extending their hands, like shaking your hands, introducing themselves. Give me a wits plus streetwise roll. Both of you, wits plus streetwise.
Could I use etiquette?
Nope.
Okay. 3.
Oh, okay. So you're not too strong on the streetwise aspect of things. What's your streetwise?
1.
1. What's yours? 2?
2? Yeah.
Okay. But both of you can't help but notice that there's two people kind of like talking in the corner and consistently like looking over you guys. And it looks a little sketch. And you kind of both notice that you both notice. You look at each other. And as you look back, those other two people are gone.
Something to keep an eye out for.
So, with this, Jackson steps back over with Sebastian. And Sebastian's just like, ugh, that was not a good first impression. He's like, now you know what not to do. So, at this point, you both have 2 hunger. Now, are you to spend the rest of the evening there? I mean, you know you have to stay. Like,
yes,
you know you have no choice.
Yeah, I was going to say I would stay the polite amount of time.
Give me your wits plus politics. All right, good. You're aware you're supposed to stay for a while.
Okay.
All right. So for tonight at this session where you guys are, I'm going to say they have literal humans kind of wandering around. Oh, they look like they're in a mindless kind of daze. Their eyes are just kind of glazed over or whatever. You're both at hunger of 1, so you really can't feed from anybody here.
You just
I'm at hunger 1?
2.
No, I know. Well, but you guys are at hunger 1. Don't worry about it. It's not going to matter because in a few minutes we're going to swap over anyway. Mm-hmm. So there's people kind of walking around in a fugue state. Some of them are a little dizzy. Some of them literal have like metal poles with with blood bags hooked to them because they're there literally to be food. They're getting snacked on. You don't know too much about the disciplines, but you're pretty sure that the discipline of dominate had a huge part to play in this.
I know a lot about that one.
What'd you dominate? Oh, yeah, you do. All right.
I know a lot.
All right. So they're kind of wandering around, but the sad thing is there's no one there for you to eat. Lenny, you, however, there is. So you guys stay until the party ends, and you go back home. You are going to start the next day at Hunger 1. Brad, you're going to start the next day at Hunger 3.
Okay.
So from here on, we're going to chop this session up right now. Our next gameplay will resume, and it will be about predators on the hunt before they go for their important meeting. Thanks for listening.